Can you imagine just how violent losing a propeller blade would be? I have friends who have survived it and lived to tell the story, and I have friends who have not survived it. And having found sheared propeller bolts on this Whirlwind propeller on my Rans S21, 4 propeller bolts, 3 sheared, 1 wrecked, I'm out. I am out. This video is about the way forward. Now, thanks to those of you who have reached out telling me you've also had this, that only scares me even more. Hartzell Propeller acquired Whirlwind about a year ago, and they've been restructuring, and they know about this. And thanks to Hartzell for reaching out, and they've asked for all my sheared bolts, the carbon fiber spinner backing plate, so they can do a proper analysis and investigation and stop this. But again, I'm out. Let's talk about the way forward. Okay, ultimately this is a good news story, and rest assured I will keep you guys posted as to all the discussions I continue to have with Hartzell and their way forward. My way forward started about a month ago down in Patagonia, where Craig Cato was. This is Craig Cato, Cato Propellers. He listened to my woes as to what was going on here, and he has so much experience in the propeller world that he had some great insights and really walked me through a way forward such that I can confidently and safely fly the backcountry bogey into the backcountry once again. About a week ago, Ani and I and the dog loaded up in the Bonanza and flew down to visit Trent and Haley in Reno, and it was only another half an hour to go visit Craig, and he wanted me to come out. I'm hijacking his algorithm.
Steve, your prop's ready.
My prop's ready? Lo and behold, he had 2 propellers already made for me, a 78 and 84 inch prop, and this is that story. Yeah, there's Papa Cato.
Yeah, why is my butt wet?
Closer. Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, I have something for you. Trent sent me with prop up or something.
Oh, yeah. Okay, right. Sure wasn't money?
Was that on Freedom Fox?
I tried to put it on Freedom Fox. This existing one was frozen though. This one's a little more sanitary.
I'm Nicole.
Yeah. Honey, come on in.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay.
2 sets, both of them are done? So the rig is, I'm getting 2 sets to test. Probably just keep one. 82 inch for stole, and then for speed, 78 inch. Oh, look at this. Ooh, that's...
And Trent wants to paint over that.
What?
So pretty.
Don't let him.
No.
Well, that's why I picked kind of this color, because I wanted to. I don't think I did leave anything unpainted carbon-wise, but I wanted it carbon colored.
So let me show you something really cool about these spinners is that they're produced from a 2-part mold.
Okay.
So the resin transfer.
Oh, no.
So we put the fabric in. Yes. So look, your inside is smooth as the outside. There's,
oh my gosh. Wow.
So a mold is built inside, outside.
Okay.
With the thickness of the carbon fiber allowable.
Holy smokes.
And so the weight of the unit's consistent and in balance.
Yeah.
All these parts are RTM.
RTM. What's that?
Resin transfer.
Okay.
So under pressure, and that's what you get every time.
And I get
very
hardware
consistent.
too.
Yeah.
You do get hardware.
Yes.
Front bulkhead.
Front bulkhead also.
Yes, that is
don't
cool.
have front bulkheads.
Right. A lot of the Vans guys do, but
yeah.
But mine didn't.
And it's really important. We really so that self plugs into the center of your ground adjustable. Right.
And this is aluminum.
Aluminum.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So
beautiful.
we also have on here the series of holes around here which are for balance.
Okay.
So we do a static balance here, and then when you do a dynamic balance, you can put your weights
Yes.
out there.
So I'm noticing the octagonal shape or hexagonal shape.
The weave of the carbon fiber. So you can buy basically decorative carbon fibers, different weave patterns. Mm-hmm. And we found this one to be kind of appealing, works well with the spinner. But you can see on the inside, it's a different weave here, which is more of a structural.
And you've done all the analysis on what all the directions.
Yeah.
And of course, yeah. Oh, yes.
In case you need the torque value.
It's right on the. Imagine that.
Imagine that. Decrease phone call. So this is the big difference between one of the big differences between our hub and one of the other hubs.
Yeah.
Is we have
something
this.
I'm most excited about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
that's
Tony
simply-
really lightened that up. Did you see that?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Okay, so tell everybody what that does.
That's a pitch block. So it sits in the hub there, snaps in, and then you have a pitch pin on your blade that rests on here and is clamped with the compression bolt cap, and then you have shims
That
to
changes the height of the pin.
yeah, it changes the height of the pin in the hub and
Which
adjusts your pitch.
Does what? Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing because every 10,000 7-inch is about 60 RPM.
Wow.
So
Okay.
just 10,000.
Yeah,
Which
close
is-
to 2 inches of pin.
We have them down to 5,000.
Blows my mind that I've been hand pitching each individual propeller.
You can't.
So that tells
can't-
me like I get them within about 0.2 or 3 of a degree, which
Okay. Which?
when
How
I'm
long did that take you?
oh, a lot of times, and you're untorquing, retorquing, which puts stress on the bolts and the
And
Norlox.
every time you torque it, it
Yep.
kind of rotates the blade.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
this
goodness.
eliminates that. It ensures
Yes.
both blades are the same pitch.
78s.
78.
These are the fast ones.
So cute.
Faster, right?
They're adorable.
Yeah. So we have 78. We have 82. We have 84, and we have 86. So all the
Okay.
blades have different blade areas, blade pitch distribution, and they're really meant for focusing on different
Application.
flight profiles.
Yeah.
So even though you have ground adjustable, you're still not ideally going to get the best of both worlds. You can get the best
Okay.
of both, but not in the most ideal situation. It depends on the type of flying that you're going to do.
Sure.
And so with you, we're going to do some testing with 2 different series of blades.
Great.
Yeah, the pitch distribution is the one thing that a lot of people don't talk about for the ground adjustable.
Pitch distribution. What exactly is pitch
Yeah, how much
distribution
pitch is in the blade itself?
The way the blade is twisted.
Okay. That would make sense based upon the RPM,
And
obviously.
cruise speed of the aircraft.
Cruise speed and RPM, right? Because
Which is
obviously
drag
the
of aircraft.
blade's going slower at the root than it is at the tip. So
So it has to have more helix.
So like our 86 has 37 inches of pitch and this is 45.
So this is where we thought, if you're doing the Alaska trip, if you're hanging around with the Cubs, even though your
start
airplane's
over.
faster.
careful with my props
Yeah.
there, Mr. Cato.
2 different blades.
Whoa, that'll be weird to fly with.
Yeah. So yeah.
How do you balance
Don't
that?
put them on at the same time. Yeah.
Okay, so 78 and 84
78,
or 82?
84,
84. Okay.
and then we also have an 86.
Okay.
Yeah. And we can do an 82. So most of the bigger diameter, like the 84, 86, all are pretty flat pitch, more meant for stole,
Okay.
Cub type stuff. But then like the Rands where it's a little faster,
Yeah.
you might want something like the 78, which has more twist distribution. So the
Yeah.
absolute top speed will be a little higher with this blade
Okay.
than this blade.
Okay.
But if you're ground adjusting for cruise and backcountry flying with Cubs and you're in the Rands, you might want to stick with this blade.
Yeah.
We'll test both of them. Let me cover one more thing here.
Sure,
You can
sure,
see
sure.
a big difference in the 2 blades.
Yeah.
The 78 was built probably a year ago. And we had some guys up in Alaska running the 86 and 84s that were having cooling problems. A lot of the ground adjustables, when they come out of the shank here, kind of have a gradual flow into the blade. So we added this part of the blade here. And we actually had a modification to the early 86 blades, which just added this small little bit. And it was a 40-degree difference in cooling.
40 degrees CHT.
4 degrees CHT. We did a CFD on the analysis. I said to our primary CFD guy, I couldn't believe the change in the cooling. So we ran the CFD, and the amount of flow change just from this little bit was just night and day.
Wow.
I mean, I would have lost to that.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit older blade profile. You can see it doesn't have quite that swoop. So it'll also be interesting to see how the cooling differences are on the Rams.
Yeah, because
Um,
as I've told you, I think in Patagonia, I'm having some cooling issues. I can't run full rich and throttle wide open for very long. Right?
So
I'm gonna
this
have to.
could be a huge reason why.
That alone.
Yeah, so
Not to mention the performance.
depending on like your feedback from what we get from you, we
Yeah.
may come in and modify this mold.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's only on the 84 that has that
84
shape,
and
so-
the 86.
Which, I mean, at higher, this is a higher speed prop, so hopefully
Right,
flying
so
a little higher
you're-
and getting more of that.
you get a little
airflow.
more air. So you can see the 86 also has this cooling mod on it.
Yeah.
But it's made a huge difference for all the Stoll guys, especially on the Cubs, where we don't have the airspeed to cool. We need extra pressure from the blade. So
It's a little radiator fan, if you will.
exactly. But it did make a huge difference.
Talk to me about the nickel leading edge and what you've changed over the years there, if you don't mind.
I mean, we've applied probably well over 10,000 nickel leading edges on blades. And of course, this blade was a new generation of blade with the non-planar tip out here, and also the blades are RTM'd. Everyone's engine vibration is different
Yeah.
from everyone else's, and
frequencies, yeah.
when you build a blade a different way, the amount of wood, the amount of foam, the amount of carbon fiber, it changes the natural frequencies of the blades.
Yeah.
And so we sent blades out to some of the very competitive Stoll guys that are running upwards of, 300 horsepower?
Yeah, 12 to 1 compression piston.
12 to 1 nitrous. So those firing pulses, every time that piston fires, is a tremendous amount of power.
Yeah.
And so that blade is accelerating and decelerating.
Sure.
And bending loads are extremely high. And so it's kind of the torturing a propeller. We're on our third generation of 86 because we had some nickel separations, nickel cracking. And so we now use a different adhesive, and we also have a security wrap right here at the base of the nickel that we didn't have a year ago. So there's a piece of carbon fiber that wraps around the base of this nickel that actually just encapsulates it, preventing this from possibly coming off.
Sure.
But typically, if on most applications, if you're 9.5 to 1 compression or 10 to 1,
that's where I'm at.
Yeah, not operating 3,000 RPM.
Right.
You shouldn't have any problems.
And you test these with like a 10x safety factor, don't you?
Yeah, as far as retention.
Retention,
Yeah,
yeah.
we're 10x.
Okay.
Now, we just finished a vibe analysis on this 86. And so for the two-bladed, we have a natural frequency somewhere around 1900 RPM that we just want to transition through. We're now testing the 78 and the 84. But we expect it to be in the similar range.
Okay.
So again, that's like a 360 with a metal prop having the natural yellow band. But this one's right around 1900 RPM. And that's the only band that we need to avoid. Yeah, recommend no continuous operation.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
I don't think anyone's.
No, we're transitioning that.
Yeah, you transition. No one's flying
I
into
mean,
1900 RPM.
800 or
Yeah.
2700 is pretty much me.
Yeah. So, but we did do a vibe survey on the blade with the previous nickel problems that we had. So,
Talk to me about the non-planar tip real quick if you can, because that's just the cool factor right
besides
there.
being sexy,
Yeah. I mean, I think of it as a winglet, but I was sitting in my 737 looking out and going, hey, that's the down winglet.
this is a down. Well, they have down wings.
Yeah, sure. We
Yeah.
absolutely do.
Yeah, so I initially started looking into this years and years ago. I was always impressed with the burp tip on the French helicopters, the work that was being done on French helicopter tips,
Sure.
and the reduction of noise and increase in efficiency. And after working with a gentleman's name is Jacques, who does our CFD work, we're able to analyze a lot of what's going on with the prop. Like I said, the cooling area, we can analyze visually. And we can also analyze visually the tip vortices. So I knew this with the French, the work they had done, that
There's potential
there's
there.
potential there.
Yeah.
And so we dove into it. And we just finished wind tunnel tests at Cal Poly
Yeah.
with planar and non-planar tips.
Go Mustangs.
The non-planar was the quietest and also the most efficient
Nice.
of the blades that we tested.
Nice.
So we think there's something to be said for this.
How about we test it out?
Yeah. When you balance a propeller, you have horizontal balance and vertical balance.
Okay.
So the blades horizontally, when they're this way, your left blade and your right blade have to balance.
Okay.
But then also vertically, the left half and the right half have to be in balance.
Oh, the half of the blade. Okay.
Half of the blade.
Gotcha.
So when you're in vertical, you have your left half and your right half. So that has to be balanced. And most other ground adjustables don't do that. So it's just as important as horizontal. So you can have a blade balanced up on the balancing fixture horizontally. You put it vertically, and it'll rock around. So that's done with the spinner back plates.
Right, enough talking about wine. Show me some more cool stuff.
Okay, this is kind of a cool project. It looks like a samurai sword.
Yeah.
Sword.
Yeah, it does. That's so cool.
But again, through CFD, we were able to, with this one, basically lay the golden egg for the company that we designed and built this for, which is a very it's a very slow speed aircraft.
Okay.
And we had to produce a lot of thrust. But it was pretty unique in the low speed realm. We saw via CFD this blade originally was straight. So the tip vortice off here was hitting the next blade in the static condition. At a, instead of this angle, it was hitting at a high angle of attack, causing a shock wave. And so it killed the lift. We were never getting the lift values that we were supposed to. So by sweeping the blade, it moved the flow of the tip vortice to miss the next blade.
Okay.
And all of a sudden our values went up like 20%.
Dang.
And we hit the targets.
Jeez. Probably smoothed everything out too.
It's again, CFD is pretty amazing
That's cool. Goodness.
to visually see what's going on.
Do you do that here in house, or do you outsource
No,
that?
outsource it.
Okay.
Yeah. A gentleman I met like 10 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great.
I think even longer now.
Yeah. I'm not that old.
Nah.
Nah.
It was like 1983. It was only 10 years ago.
It's only 10 years. Exactly. You know how that is.
Well,
Yeah.
speaking of which, so I saw on your website 1975. So is this like your dad thing, or are you just older than you look? That's a compliment. That's a compliment. No, but is it a obviously now it's a family affair, but
Yeah, I was
it always been-
17. I was on the TV show To Tell the Truth
oh, I
for
thought you looked
motorizing a hang glider.
okay.
Yeah, my brother and I thought it was a great idea to motorize a hang glider. And so this is back when they had not invented the wheel. Literally for hang gliders and ultralights, because ultralights have wheels. And so it started without the wheel.
Okay.
We were foot launching. So we had no wheels. And so we just took hang gliders that we were typically foot launching off of a hilltop
Okay.
and launching them off of flat ground. And so I was 14, I think.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Yeah, so my brother and I
where
went.
were your parents?
Right?
Right?
My parents let me do this. And we went and bought a racing go-kart engine, Mac 101. And it was direct drive, 8,000 RPM. And built a little frame to put on the hang glider and just started running on level ground.
What could go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Did you have any flight or hang gliding experience? I would hope.
Oh
before
yeah,
that?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Been flying the hang gliders.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just-
yeah. Yeah, I was competing in hang gliding and
Is it here in Northern California?
in Southern California.
Southern California.
Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So all the oldies, you know, the Wills brothers, and so many of them that I used to hang out and hang glide with
Cool.
way back when,
Okay.
that are unfortunately no longer with us.
Sure.
You know, we were kind of, when we got into the ultralight industry, people were kind of reinventing aviation, if you will, the people that were doing it, you
Yeah.
know, not really educated in that field and had
Yeah.
their own ideas.
Yeah.
And,
Well, my at least affinity for aviation came from Southern California, and a guy named Lance Neibauer, and one of his first builders of a Lance Air was across the street from me, and my dad took me to Santa Paula Airport to meet Lance, and then he moved his company up to Bend,
Yeah.
where I live now. We live now,
Yeah.
large part because my senior project at Cal Poly was to help redesign their production flow.
Oh, okay.
And they let some college kid around. And I had a camera. They're like, "No, you can't film that." So,
Yeah.
so let's get as much secret stuff as we can. No, that's behind those doors. We're not going
Yeah.
back there. Wow, that was mind blowing. I wish you could see how it's so cool, the smells and the sounds and the beautiful. Anyway, I can't say any more about it. Oh, what a cool shop you've got, man. Thanks a lot. We're
Yeah.
gonna go grab some lunch right
Yeah.
now, and then he's gonna come up to Bend, help me install, and we're gonna do a whole bunch of testing with these props on the backcountry boat.
and some skiing.
And some skiing. We better get going quick. It's March. Craig, they go in there if you just want to.
Jeez, I'm such a dick. I'm realizing we didn't address the failure mode of the Whirlwind, and I know we haven't done our own investigation on it, but what we were talking about in Patagonia, I'd like to kind of share a little bit of that, if you don't mind, when you're up in Bend. For episode. So stay tuned.
We'll just go over your existing components and take a look.
We're going to take a look at everything. We're going to install these on the bogie, and we'll go for a flight.
Yeah.
Couple flights.
Sounds good.
All right. Till next time, it's Steve, Craig, and the Cato family. Clear Direct.